My name's Tim Richardt. This is my subject, Denny Bartha. We're going to be conducting an Astrand cycle test. It's a sub-max exercise test. Going to get his approximate VO2 max from that. Prior to this, we kind of went through his exercise history and his cardiovascular risk stratification according to ACSM. He's low risk. He has none whatsoever. He exercises regularly. He's pretty active. Mid-20s male. So he's pretty safe for this type of testing. He's been warming up for approximately 2 minutes at 0 resistance right now. I'm going to go ahead and bump him up. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm going to go ahead and bump him up to the 600 to 900 kp workload, which is what the ACSM recommends for an active male around his age. He's going to do this for about 2 or 3 minutes while I continue kind of talking about his history. His resting vitals were 55 beats per minute, and then 110/70 for blood pressure. These are perfectly healthy, perfectly normal. It suggests no contraindications for exercise testing, so we were kind of clear to start once we got those values. We also went over this RPE exertion scale, kind of explained that to my subject Denny, 6 to 20. So we're going to be using that to monitor exertion levels and make sure those correlate with his blood pressure and heart rate and stuff like that. I already set the workload. He's been going for about a minute now. So the warm-up was about 2 or 3 minutes at 0 resistance whatsoever until he felt comfortable. We were sure to adjust the bike seat height to his greater trochanter with about a 5-degree bend in his knee. And we're just about getting to that 2-minute mark where I'm going to assess heart rate as well as RPE. And then minutes 3 and 6, I'm going to do those with blood pressure as well. So, Denny, how hard do you feel like you're working right now?
13.
Okay, I'm going to take heart rate as well. I'm going to walk over here. I'm going to measure this for about 10 seconds, then multiply by 6 to be as accurate as possible. Okay. And then, so for minute 2, those values were 140 beats per minute for my multiplied by 6 value, and then an RPE of, you said 13 then? Okay. And we're going to wait, and minute 3, we're going to do those again in addition to blood pressure. I'm going to get kind of set for blood pressure right now. Make sure I have this facing the right way. That for me? Yep. So for the minute 3 value, I got 145/70, which is a kind of perfectly normal value. Gonna ask him his RPE again.
13 still.
Okay, and I'm gonna take another really quick heart rate. Another 10-second value. How you feeling?
Good.
All right. The other thing worth mentioning is that we are having him pedal at a rate of 50 cycles per minute. We're using a metronome for that, and other equipment I'm using is this stopwatch, so I can get an accurate 10-second reading for the heart rate. So we're gonna have him go for another 2 minutes to minute 5 of this protocol, and we're gonna assess heart rate and RPE again. Ideally, at the end of minute 6 of this protocol, he's going to still be in that submax range, which we've calculated before, kind of based on his age and resting heart rate. That submax range that we want to get into I believe was about it was about 145 to 165. So we're clearly in that early. We're just hoping that he kind of stays within 5 beats per minute, so we can say that this was a submax test. Still doing okay?
Yep.
Cool. It's also a pretty normal response to exercise that we're observing, heart rate increasing, and then that pulse pressure widening as systolic kind of creeps up, and diastolic stays relatively low. Okay, and how you feeling right now on the forward RPE scale?
14.
Okay, so that's increased a little bit to be expected, but still well within range. Going to take heart rate again. Okay. And so he was a 14 on the RPE scale, and his heart rate climbed up a little bit. It went from 140 to 145. Still within about 5 beats per minute, and still in that submax range that we calculated earlier using heart rate reserve. So definitely what we're looking to see from a submax exercise test. We're going to repeat those values at the last minute of the Astrand cycle test, and then we're going to terminate hopefully. All right, I'm going to get set up to take blood pressure for the last time. And that was pretty close to the last value. It was about a 146 out of 70. I'm going to record that. Going to ask him how he's doing again. RPE, still the same?
Yeah, 14.
Okay. I'm going to take one last heart rate to verify that we're in steady state. And heart rate's about 145, so we can then terminate this test. We've achieved steady state. So I'm going to start him on his cool down now. Just take the resistance off. And during the cool down, we hope to see him kind of return to his resting normative values. Most likely not as low as the resting values, but definitely probably right in that 100, 110 beats per minute range. And that is the Astrand cycle test.